Bitcoin hit over $123,000. And in the same week, we got Ethereum above $3,000 again. So the market is very busy. I've seen a lot of people panicking that the top is very near and we should actually start DCAing out of the market. But in my opinion, we are just entering the final stages of the bull market, and making money right now is super simple. So in this video I'll break the current market conditions and how I'm going to play out the next few weeks and months, because as I mentioned, we don't have much time left, so we have to lock in to make as much money as possible this bull run. And you probably noticed this purple box. I was honestly expecting that we are going to range the price of Bitcoin inside of this box until the late of August. However, we broke out very early. And I was expecting for price of Bitcoin to go sideways for a little more, because the interest rates in the United States are still very high. For example, in 2021 bull market, the interest rates were extremely low. Borrowing money was super cheap, which obviously always fuels the bull market. However, right now we are hovering at 4.5% interest rates and we are still making new all-time highs, which is one of the indicators why we are going to see even higher prices for Bitcoin and more cryptocurrencies. Because the most important thing that grows the price of Bitcoin is M2 global money supply. And if we just look at the historical data, every single time we had major bull run, we had an increase in money supply. Here's bull run of 2016 to 2017. And when the money supply started to shrink, the price of Bitcoin lowered. Pretty straightforward. After Kung Flu in 2020, we started printing so much money that the bull run in 2021 was absolutely crazy. Just look at the historical prices of altcoins. And right now, Bitcoin is printing new all-time highs. We went way above 100K. However, the money supply still isn't growing. Most of the countries around the world just started lowering interest rates, plus we expect 2 more rate cuts this year from United States. However, there's a chance that these rate cuts will be way higher and way sooner if this rumor comes true, because there's some very credible sources that Fed Chair Jerome Powell is considering resigning. And Jerome Powell is one of the most hated people right now, because he is keeping interest rates at this level. And Trump wants to do everything he can to just replace him with someone who can cut interest rates back to 2 or 1%. And I'm not going too deep into the economic side of things, but US has a huge debt problem. It's pretty much impossible to pay it back. So they need to lower interest rates and try to outgrow the debt by expanding their economy. I know it's very simplistic explanation, but we won't dive deep into this topic in today's video. All you need to know is that lower interest rates makes borrowing easier, which causes more money in the system, and eventually this money will flow into financial markets like crypto. So the sooner we get those rate cuts, the better. And another huge catalyst that drove Bitcoin to over 123,000 US dollars per Bitcoin was the crypto week in the United States. This week, they wanted to pass 3 bills that would make regulations in the USA for cryptocurrencies very bullish. However, those regulations didn't pass in the first voting, and this is the reason why we've seen this huge dump of over 6% in around a day. However, as of recording this video, there is information that they are planning to do a second vote. There is a chance that those bills will pass, and right now I'll just explain to you what those bills are. So I just asked ChatGPT to summarize it, because once again, I don't want to bore you with technical stuff. Let's just focus on the most important things. So first is Genius Act for stablecoin rules. It will just give banks and fintechs the green light to issue stablecoins legally, which is huge because USD-backed stablecoins are basically money in crypto that just waiting to flow into Bitcoin and altcoins, which is huge. The more money in the crypto space, the better for the people like us who just want to make as much money as possible. Second, the Clarity Act, which will define which tokens are commodities versus securities. And it's very important because in the last couple of years, when the Democrats ruled the United States, there was this big war on crypto. And right now they just want to give US exchanges legal certainty. And it's important because if you don't know if something is legal or not, you're not going to do it. So if they pass this act, we could expect some more listings and liquidity in the markets. Third thing is Anti-CBDC Act. And it's super important for the freedom of everyone. CBDC, or central bank digital currency, is basically programmable money on blockchain. Imagine that with CBDC they could freeze your account because you had wrong political views or you spent too much money on gas, so you cannot buy any more gas for your car, or you cannot travel for some reason. So it's very important for everyone to block CBDCs across the entire world. I think in Europe they are planning to create CBDCs, which is bad. At least in the USA, you won't have it if they're going to sign it. So that's basically it for the part where we break down the current market conditions and what's happening. I think we are going to see even higher prices for Bitcoin. I'm not going to give you a target price because we never know what's going to happen. But considering that the money supply still isn't growing that rapidly, I think we still have around 6 months, maybe more, maybe less, until we completely finish this cycle. But we'll keep monitoring the situation. I'm going to tell you when I'm going to cash out all my crypto into stablecoins. And if you want to know when I'm going to do that, make sure to join my Telegram. There will be a link in the description below. But right now, let's just focus on how can we make money in this market. So as you know, my YouTube channel is mainly about meme coins. However, since the Trump launched his own token, the interest in meme coins is actually dropping, and you can see it on chain that there's not that many tokens graduating on PumpFun anymore. This is the data for the last 24 hours, and we can see since May pretty significant decline in the number of tokens that actually graduated. So right now, trading meme coins is still profitable. However, you have to be more diligent, actually buy the coins that are pre-bonding, which also is more risky, so you cannot just buy with size because market cap is like 20k. Plus we have multiple different launchpads for meme coins which take the market share from PumpFun. For example, Bong.Fun is actually competing with PumpFun for the #1 launchpad for meme coins, and with the PumpFun token launch, we could expect that it's actually a top for PumpFun, or at least a local top, because PumpFun is not only launchpad, they want to compete with major social media. So I'm very curious to see what's going to happen in the next few weeks and months, because it's quite a large task, so I'm not really sure if they can deliver everything in this bull run. So right now with meme coins, you definitely shouldn't buy with a lot of size, just quick plays in and out. It's very unlikely that most of the tokens will pass 500k, not even hitting a million. So you have to be very quick with taking profits. But if you don't like new creations, there is something else you can do. Because you can still trade meme coins with leverage on centralized exchanges like Bluefin. And I use Bluefin personally because it's non-KYC. You just give them your email, sign up and trade crypto. And if it doesn't work in your country, just use VPN. And you can find a link to VPN and Bluefin in the description down below. So right now I have a long open for Solana. As you can see, I was trading it and buying the dip every single time and selling around the top. My last entry is around $160, and right now I'm in $340 profit. I'm trying to run it up to $180 plus. However, I'll just have to monitor what's the current situation in the market, and maybe I will close this long sooner, just like the previous ones. And I won't get into details on how you trade. Basically, I just betted the major support, which is around 159, 160 USD. And I won't go into details on why I'm trading this way. I just look at the historical prices, and we have around $160 resistance / support line. So that's why I'm betting here. That's pretty simple strategy. And my exit is around the previous highs in the May. However, I want to show you one important thing. We are now looking at Solana, and every single time Solana price increases, the meme coins on Solana increase in price too, but with higher percentage. And I will show you an example. If you take, for example, this Griffin coin, which is one of the AI projects that ran very high back in December, it also moves in similar ways to Solana. If you notice on the previous chart, around May we had a local top for Solana at $180, and I'm going to show you just one thing. Notice the lows since 4th of April to the highs in May. We got an increase of 569%. And it's impossible for Solana to do the same. Let's just go back to the Solana chart and let's go to the lows of April to the highs, and we increased by only 94%. In short, major meme coins will always outperform the altcoins they are created on. So if you are trading Solana meme coins and Solana price increases, the price of meme coins on Solana increases even more. The same thing is happening with Ethereum. In the beginning of the video, I show you that Ethereum finally broke out and it's above $3,000. So every major meme coin on Ethereum is breaking out too. And one of the major meme coins on Ethereum is Pepe. Let's just look at the price increase since, let's say, 8th of July. And Pepe went over 36%. And once we go back to Ethereum, it went only 26%. So the percentage is actually lower than with Griffin because Pepe is way higher market cap. But the principle is the same. If the main altcoin like Ethereum runs, every meme coin like Pepe will run even higher than Ethereum. So just to recap, if you want to make money on major meme coins and altcoins, make sure to sign up with Blowfin. It's non-KYC, just make an account and you can start trading. Basically bet major support and resistance lines. But if you prefer to degen on new creations, I'll also leave a link to BullX Neo. However, make sure to take profits very early because, as I showed you previously, the amount of graduations is significantly lower than months prior. So you have to be very careful with your capital. And if you like these longer videos where I go deep into what's happening in the market and how you can benefit from it, make sure to leave a comment and just tell me to make more videos like this. And if you prefer to degen on new creations but you don't have 12 hours a day for trading, in this video I'm showcasing a tool which is analyzing over 20,000 profitable wallets and 30 different metrics, and then it just shows you the meme coins with the biggest potential. So if you'd like to get access to this tool, make sure to watch this video.